So, welcome to yet another episode of the Suckerfree Podcast. We are here today to, talk about issues Kisumu, which we have been talking about actually for the last couple of episodes. We've talked about the, serious issue in Kisumu, which is the insecurity crisis that the city is undergoing. So today, to discuss this topic further, we have invited Mr. Audi Ogada, who has been gracious enough to accept our invitation and come and discuss this grave issue, which is security. For those who might not be familiar with Mr. Ogada, Mr. Audi Ogada is a human rights activist in Kisumu and is known to be doing an amazing job, at least by some of us who appreciate the work that he does. Actually, I remember last week I had Mr. Audi Ogada on Radio Namlolwe, and I actually gave him a call to just thank him, for the good job that people like him are doing, people who are raising voices about this insecurity issue. He has been one of the people who have been very vocal about it, and today we are glad to have him here. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Suckerfree Podcast. Today we have Mr. Audi Ogada as our guest. Mr. Audi Ogada, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm happy that once again we've been able to meet again, and we thank God for that. As you have heard, my name is Audi Ogada, very senior human rights activist in Kisumu, and many people call me senior. Senior has become my title. The issue that you're talking about pertaining to the insecurity is a matter that all of us are concerned. Is a matter that generates public outcry. Is a matter that affects all of us as a resident of this area and our environment. For the last 2 months, we have been getting complaints. We have been visiting many hospitals, especially our sub-county hospital, Kisumu District Hospital in Russia. And while we get there, what we are meeting is very shocking. It's very shocking. People are being murdered. We have seen people who have really been affected by this insecurity. And we have decided to speak it up. We have according to our Constitution 2010, we have constitutional bodies that actually have the mandate and the power to ensure that Kenyans are protected. Under our Constitution, in Article 238 of the Constitution, Article 238 of our Constitution establishes what we call security organs. The security organs, the armed forces, that's number one, the national intelligence, that's number two, and the National Police Service, with one primary mandate. Our security organs, as I've mentioned, the armed forces, the NIS, and of course the National Police Service, their primary mandate is to protect our territorial, protect our integrity, protect our sovereignty, protect our right, protect our freedom, protect our peace, protect our life, protect our property. That is the primary mandate of our security organs. So if we are in a situation where we are insecure, then we must come up and ask, where are our security organs? And that's why last week I wrote a letter to the county commander, Kisumu county commander, and the county commissioner. Why county commander? County commander is actually an officer a superior officer within the county whom have specific responsibility. County commanders all over, and specifically Kisumu, they have specific responsibility of ensuring that our people are protected within the respective areas. I wrote to Kisumu County Commander, Bwana Kisito. I wrote to the county commissioner as the chair of the security in the region. The county commander is in charge of the police, but the county commissioner is in charge is the chair of all security. So I wrote a letter, and my letter was very specific because I was pointing at areas where I believe and I still maintain that those areas we have seen a lot of laxity, we have seen a lot of weaknesses, we have also seen a lot of inaction. Inaction. And that's why I decided, and I don't want to use any title, because our constitution gives each and every individual Kenyans that they have rights to raise any issue that affect the public. And we can remove all titles. I've heard you talking about I'm the chair of Kisumu residents, I'm a human rights. Yes, of course, those hats, I wear those hats. But when it comes to these issues, it's better for me to remove those hats and face the issue as it is. So Kisumu is supposed to be a 24-hour economy. Kisumu City is supposed to be a 24 hours economy. Unfortunately, this is an elusive dream. This is an elusive dream to the Kisumu people. 6:37, our CBD is locked and closed. It is a no-go zone, and you can't walk there.
That is very true.
It is a no-go zone. Why? It is because criminals have declared curfew in some areas in the city. There are areas that have been declared a no-go zone with criminals. These young boys, some of them are young boys. So we are all guilty. I'm guilty as well. Why am I guilty? And why is everybody guilty? It is because we are seeing a number of young children growing in we call them ninjas. Children growing up on our streets. Some of them are very small, but they are growing, they are becoming adults. Nobody's bothering. Our leaders are not caring. At 10, 11-year boys growing until he becomes 18 and he become a full adult on the streets. Nobody is, and the number is huge. We are now not able to control them. It is sad that even now you walk to the bus park, you are boarding a matatu. As you are lighting down, a group of young children are approaching. They are robbing you, they are taking the phones, they are taking the bags, and even all the money that you have. Some of these travelers, some of them are women with children. They are left there, pesa imeenda, everything is hata the phone which they can use to contact their family. So you find this kind of people stranded completely. While we have very, 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 very mushrooming police posts and police station, mushroomings. What are these police posts? What are these police stations doing? They have officers. They have vehicles. What are they doing?
It is a very, very contentious question because as residents, like as you said earlier, it is even the time to strip off all titles because this is an issue that affects all of us equally. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're a lady, whether you're a man, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult. it seems no one is safe. So, are we looking at a scenario where we are giving up? Because it looks like even as the more we talk about it, the worse it gets. Last night, I've seen in Yamasaria, shops were attacked, things were stolen. The other day, these young men here, they were out just doing their job. They were attacked. Some of their equipment stolen. So these are young men who are working hard, trying to make money for their young families. Same young people are here attacking them. Are we looking at any possible solutions? For people like you who've been in this space for long and the kind of work that you do, you get the data, you know how many people, probably are attacked this month, next month, on a daily. You are at the morgue, you see how mutilated those bodies are. You know, are we seeing any hope for a better, secure Kisumu? In that now it's a city that is growing and our security needs are growing and needs to be, tackled innovatively.
I am worried that we are losing this battle. We are losing it because if you look at the nature or the pattern of the crime that we are talking about, we have many different patterns. Just last Friday, we were in a funeral here in Kisumu East, where former councillor Tuge was burying his mother. We had very, 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 very respected dignitaries who attended that funeral. Oburu Dinga was and attended the funeral. Mzee Odungiranda, the care of Luo Elder, was in that funeral. Shakil Sabir, the MP, was in that funeral. Adumu Wu, the MP for Nyakaji, was in that funeral, and many others. And it was very unfortunate that they never got a chance to speak because it was disrupted by our own youths. They decided to disrupt that function. Last Friday.
The funeral.
Last Friday. So Oburu Dinga had to flee.
Oh my goodness.
Odongiranda had to flee. Adumu Ur had to flee from the funeral.
My goodness.
I'm on record, and I'm speaking where I'm being recorded to uphold the hand of Mzee Odongiranda, the Kerlu, take him to the vehicle, his vehicle. While Oburu Dinga was also being escorted by some of our leaders. So we wanted them to be safe. And it was disrupted. By who?
By the youth.
By the youths who are well known. Are well known to these leaders, are well known to security organs, are well known to all of us.
My God. So these are people you know?
Well known because they were there and everybody, it was a funeral like they packed. And everybody, and they were talking, they were saying Aduma can't talk. Aduma cannot talk here. They were mentioning the name of some other leaders, that those are the leaders that they were mentioning are the leader they know, not these others. And at the end of it, it went out. Unfortunately, that this group have been mentioned several times in terms of disruption of functions, in terms of participating in other criminal activities. You walk to a number of police stations, you look at the OBs, you will find the name of these people being mentioned, OB Condele, OB. So We are in a situation where we are protecting this lawlessness. We are supporting this lawlessness. And that is the problem. That is the issue.
To what end?
It is on record, and I want to repeat. I know it is also dangerous for me, but we must speak it out.
Yeah. We should.
Simply why? Reason being that we have been having leaders who are serving even as we speak, and leaders who have served in previous elections, in previous regimes, because of this kind of lawlessness, because they were declared. Some of IBC officials who actually were charged with the responsibility of elections were being forced that you must declare Ogada. It doesn't matter how many votes Ogada has. You declare Ogada is now our MP. Declare Ogada is our MCA. Declare Onya. So that has been, and Ogada is being declared, irrespective whether I won the election or not. And I become the MP. So other people have also bought the idea. They also are now making and forming their groups so that because it is the strongest.
So now the one with the strongest goons is.
That is the person.
And that makes that explains this.
Honestly, now each group, each base, for example, Nyalenda, some Kondele, Manyata, but then each base, each area is now forming their groups because there's money. I want to go and evict somebody in my house. I hire them, they freelance. We have very many, well, actually we have 3 sets of groups. Youths, that's young men like us. We have political party youths, which are affiliated either to respective political parties, the UDA, the ODM, and all of that. That's another set of youth. Those one you can manage. We have freelance group, the group that have gone to the gym. They have gone to the gym. You see, lovely. They have gone to the gym. Those are groups that are for hire. I hire them today. I want to go and snatch somebody's wife. Nitawambia twende bwana. We go. I want to break somebody's tunaita arus. We call arus is what? Wedding. I want to go and destroy your wedding because you want to do a wedding with a woman who I was chasing. This group, I hire them. That wedding will not take place. That's another lot. That's the second category. But the worst category, that's the third category, are organized groups. Organized groups. If you go to our slums in Nyalenda here, you go to our slum in Manyata, you go to our slum in Bandani, we have youths who at daytime like this, they are not coming out even on the streets. They are inside. They are inside the slums. But when something is triggered, kama imetokea kitu kidogo tu, they come out. And when they come out, brother, they don't know anybody. Whether you are a Audi Ogada, you are MCA, you are MP, you are no, they don't know anybody. They will barricade the roads. They will lit fire in the roads, and they will take anything that you have. There was a time when an old man was actually was attacked. They thought he had money, kumbe he had 300. No, when he was thrown on the floor, he went, we bwana, tembeaga na pesa. He was being told, we tembeaga na pesa we mzee. Because the 300 was such a small money. So we are in that situation, brother. That is why I'm saying we are guilty, because what affects any resident here, if there is anything that affects the resident of Kisumu now, like insecurity, it affects everybody. And that is why I'm calling all of us, irrespective of our title, that we stand up, because the Constitution gives us powers. In my letter, even in the meeting that last week, I think last Wednesday, we were having a meeting at the county commissioner's office, the DC's office. I addressed it, and I'm still raising it. I raised them in my letter. I raised them in our meeting with the county commissioner and the DC. I've raised it several times, and I'm still raising. These mushrooming police stations are vehicles. Kila police station katika area eneo hii yetu iko na gari. Some of these vehicles, are just being used to collect money. Zinatumiwa kuchukua pesa kwa watu wanauza nyasore, people who are selling opium, people who are selling changa, people who are actually doing some illegal kind of business.
That is the work that vehicles.
The vehicles are collecting, and they have become bolder. Even if people are there, a woman is selling changa, they know they have the list. But when they are coming to collect money, they are collecting it even if we are there. Gari inakuja inasimama, ile mama analeta pesa. And it happens. It happens. I told the DC, I wrote in my letter, I'm saying it. So police have lost their focus.
It is now open business.
The border, which is our major factory in Kisumu. We have no any other industry. In fact, most of young men are ventures into border. And I want to say, and with a lot of emphasis, that if it were not for border, which have taken a number of our youths, I don't know where we would be today. So you'll find police are actually targeting border because they know that's where money is. Wakishika unajua ni pesa iko. And they are living criminals. Border kama hana, if he doesn't have a shoe, weka pikipiki pale. If he doesn't have where we call it helmet, weka pale. Insurance yako iko wapi? Wapi barua ya pikipiki? These are what police are concentrating on, yet people are being killed. People are being attacked everywhere, including daytime. Go to the hostel. Don't end this here with me. Go to the hostel, take records. Go to sub-county there. Ask them that how per day or per week, what are they interacting with? You will find the record there. Go to Russia. People are being attacked daily. Yet police are busy collecting money.
Money from border and changa dens and...
So this is why what we are saying, can police up their game? Can police do what they have been asked to do? If you look at the National Police Service Act, Section 2011 as amended, Section 24 of that Act, Section 24 of the National Police Service Act 2011, lists the functions and mandate of our National Police Service. When I talked earlier about the Constitution Article 238, I talked about security organs, which were three: the armed forces, the national intelligence, the police. But now, come back to the National Police Service Act, Section 24, Section 27, and Section 35. 24 talked about National Police Service. 27 talked about administration police. And 35 talked about the directorate, the DCI. Their functions, their mandate,
Stipulated.
the first mandate of those three is the provision of assistance to the general public. The provision of assistance to the general police service. Section 24, first mandate and function of the police, general police, provision of assistance to the general public. Section 27, the first mandate of the administration police is provision of assistance to the public. The directorate, the DCI primary mandate is to ensure that they detect and prevent crime, detection and prevention of crime. So kama watu wanaibwa mchana and police are supposed to detect and prevent the crime, so whom are we blaming? Are they doing the work? The answer is no. They are supposed to prevent, but before prevention, they are supposed to detect. Is then they come to other functions. They have several functions, about 11 functions. But my problem is their first function, provision of assistance. Keeping law and order is another function. Keeping law and order. Apprehension is another function. Detection and prevention of crime is another function. So list them. So what we are saying, if we have police officers who have overstayed in some areas, like in Kisumu here, we have police officers who have worked here for 8 years plus. Some have worked here for over 10 years. And they are not, that is the truth. And I want to repeat that. It is in my letter.
Yeah.
We have police officers who have worked in this city, who have worked in this region for over 10 years. Some of them are being transferred 3-4 months. They are coming back. If you transfer police Kondele who have stayed in Kondele for 8 years, you remove it Kondele and you take him to Kasagam. Is that a transfer?
No. Doesn't sound like a transfer.
You remove police from Central, you take him to Obunga police station. Is that a transfer?
You can call that transplanting.
It is transfer planting, as you are saying.
Moving from one to next.
Now, I want to borrow that your word.
Yeah.
Repeat it again. Transplanting.
Yeah.
So we are transplanting.
Yeah.
Instead, and I will use it. I will use that word. I'm a good borrower.
Yeah.
I'll borrow that word. So what we are saying, that this issue of insecurity is real, and our peace can only be there when we have security. The economic drive of this city relying on this security. Some of our factories and companies have closed in Kisumu. Choppies, they are closed. There are almost over 11 factories and industries who have closed in Kisumu for issues of insecurity as one, issue of over-taxation, the high rate of taxation by KRA and others. It is killing our industries in this. So it is when these industries are dying, it creates unemployment, which again becomes our excuse that our youth lack employment. Our youth lacks employment, and which is true, they lack employment.
Yes, very true. Very, very true.
They lack employment. Mtoto amekuwa ninja kwa street, mpaka amekuwa kijana saisi anataka kuoa. It doesn't have anything. Na anaona Audi Ogada iko na magari 3, anaota mimi nimekaa niko na kila kitu. This boy must ask, wewe ulituibia, you stole our wealth because of the gap, and nobody's safe. And I want to say it again, the people who are making money, who are living in Milimani, who are living in Lolwe, who are living in Polyview, who are living in this prime posh estate, they are not safe. If we cannot come together and organize ourselves in terms of how do we handle this issue of unemployment, because that should be number one issue.
You are so right. Milimani
should be number one issue.
Is one of the most unsafe places in Kisumu.
That is it. Why is it unsafe? It remains the target. Watu wanajua watu wako pale na wako na pesa. Ukienda tu hapo usiku, ukiona mwindi moja wewe ulo na pesa. Ukipata mtu tu you have money. So they are becoming unsafe because of issues such as unemployment, which has created a lot of insecurity. So where are our leaders?
That is the question, because I'm wondering if a place where you leaders, because you are our leaders, but you leaders are sitting in a funeral, and I'm assuming that when you're organizing a function as a funeral, you also put in place security protocol. You also put in place maybe cops. You have to write a letter to the cops and inform them that you have an event here. So probably they will come. And amid all this, the youth can still come and disrupt in a place where we have high-level national leaders.
That was just one single funeral. These young men have disrupted even functions at Ofafa, where Honorable Right Reverend Raila Odinga was, and the youth disrupted that. Funds of leaders, including Amos Wako, were stolen. Daylight and daytime at Ofafa. Those are things that are on record. So in a number of occasions, we have seen this kind of thuggery. Whether it is political thuggery or it is any other thuggery, it remains thuggery.
It looks like a very organized thuggery because, as you say, there are stakeholders in this.
I have talked about the funeral of last Friday. The other Saturday, there was an Arambe at Juakali. There was an Arambe. The Juakali wanted to buy a bus, so they bought a bus. So it was an occasion where they were to. The function was disrupted. Again, we had members of parliament who were there. It was disrupted. Juakali at daytime. So, sometime we must accept that in our environment, if we cannot start trying to change our culture and attitude, if we don't work on it now, and I'm telling you, the 2026 or 2027 election, in fact, I'm talking about 2026 because I believe that year, 2026, the campaign mood from our region will be very high and it will be chaotic. By 2026, it will be very chaotic because realignment shall have been done at that year. People who want certificate, whoever have the majority of facts shall have already taken over. I'm worried about our future in terms of elections. What I'm seeing, if we don't work on it today, and it is upon our leaders, whoever called himself a leader, whoever believes that is a leader, whether it's a church leader, you are a political leader, you are a leader of any kind, kindly is my humble prayer that the situation that we are witnessing is getting bolder and bolder and is getting dirtier. Can we stand up now? It will reach a time that we will not blame the police. We will not. Because police are also human beings. Police are also guided within the law. That is sometimes why I have a problem with the police. Because if you look at the National Police Service Act, which I've mentioned, Section 24, 27, and 35, if you go to that particular act under Schedule 6, Schedule 6 and Schedule 5 of the National Police Service Act, Schedule 6 allow police to use force. Part A allow police to use force, Part B allow police to use firearm, and Part C gives specific responsibility by superior officers. That is Schedule C. But now Schedule 5 also talked about the right of arrested persons. So Schedule 6 talk about use force. Schedule 6 talk about use firearm. Schedule 6, Part C gives specific responsibility. But Schedule 5 instruct the police to ensure the right of arrested person is respected. And it says all suspects retain their rights. So, so where are we? Kwa sababu Schedule 6 is not allowed police to harm you in any way because your rights must be
protected.
Look at that. So all this, if we don't look at them and see how are we going to address this issue of insecurity, all our parks, be it Oile Park, Taifa Park, all the parks are not safe. Ukikaa kwa park, umeenda huko, you will be attacked at daytime.
Do residents of Kisumu even go to relax at Taifa Park, really?
It is a security issue. It's a security zone. And some of the parks have been taken over by these street boys who are now not young people. They are now a street family. Kuna wazee pale kwa street grow from this. These were people who went there as young people. They have now grown up. They are adult.
And they are now bringing up their
children. And they are now bringing up their children plus girls. They are now married in the streets. They are married. These street children have wives.
Amongst themselves.
And they must eat. They must look for food. They must ensure that those basic needs, they must have them. Where are they getting them? They are getting them from this kind of crimes. So we are in that state and still appeal to our leaders, still appeal to our county security bosses, still appeal to our governor to ensure that this issue of escalating insecurity be addressed. And the time is now.
I agree.
I want to appeal, my last appeal to our leaders, that one of my recommendations is the silent Section 49 of the National Police Service Act, the silent or the dormant Section 41 of the National Police Service Act. This dormant or silent section create what we are calling county security committee.
This is the one which is headed by the commissioner?
By the governor.
Okay.
All our governors are supposed to chair security in their respective counties.
Okay.
There is what we are calling county policing authority, where governor has power to appoint at least 5 members who are completely people who are not police officers. Can appoint one minister, he appoint 2 members of assembly, he appoint members of the public. I can be appointed in that, you can be appointed in that. The county commissioner become a member, the county commander become a member, so that we have a multi-sectoral dealing with the issue of security. But this is in law. The law is there. But this law has not seen the light of the day because of the power struggle. Police officers believe that when governor becomes the chair, he will take all the powers. That is where we are stuck. Yet it's a law that is there. It is my appeal that the Inspector General of Police allow this particular section to operate so that the governor here in Kisumu Nyong'o, Siaya Orengo, and all these other governors appoint members of the security within their counties, so that when an OCPD somewhere is not doing what it's supposed to do, let this authority, let this community policing, county police interrogate OCPD. If an OCS is not doing what is right, this county policing authority takes Choba, Bwana OCS, your area in Kondele, Bwana OCS, your area in Kisumu Central, Bwana OCPD, your area in Kasagam. Why is there insecurity? So if this section can be implemented and what work, so we will be blaming all of us. We will be blaming Baba. Even my open letter would have not written it to county commander. Would have written it to the governor. And the governor being a person that is of interest in terms of economic growth of the area, he will of course ensure that his area has police officers who are effective, who are competent, and more importantly, who are committed to the work of ensuring that they discharge their functions and mandate.
Wow. You know, in what you've said, you've actually talked about a couple of issues that all intermarry into this problem. So if it's a problem that is to be tackled, then it means that this is a problem that is going to be multi-layered in terms of the solutions have to come from different sectors, different stakeholders. So beginning from the activities that are going on in this town, beginning to the economic structure, like you talked about a 24-hour economy. I believe a city like Kisumu should be able to operate in 24 hours, and that would make a city even more secure. In my opinion, we have cities, we have small towns in this
Kisi,
country.
Kisi works 24 hours.
24 hours.
Kirichi works 24 hours.
Yeah.
These are our neighboring cities, and
Yeah.
they're small cities. Kisumu, we can't.
So I think all these issues.
When we were reforming our sectors, one of the sectors that was reformed, I remember there was a task force that was headed by Judge Philip Rensley, who actually made several reforms which were anchored in our constitution, which even changed the name of the police force then to police service. And those are the reforms, part of Section 41 that brought in the governor and all this, were part of the reforms that we were, as Kenyans, say that this is what we say, but we are stuck. But that's where we are. Our political leaders, as maybe my last part shot, our political leaders must choose whether they want them be elected through a transparent, democratic, and accountable processes. Let them choose our leaders. Let them choose whether they want to be elected on a platform of democratic, transparent, and accountable process, which is only one that allow free, fair, and credible election, which must be non-violence. It must be non-violent. An election that any nature, anything like violence in there cannot be democratic, cannot be competitive, cannot be accountable, cannot be an election that in the minds of all Kenya and in the mind of even the international community, it cannot be democratic. So it is upon us to choose.
I can't remember the last time I saw elections in this town that didn't have any violence, that they were not marked by corruption allegations. I mean, everything you're saying.
I think not only that. The worst part, and you have seen my documents.
Yeah, I've seen your work.
You have seen my documents. We always document all these ugly situations. We all document. And if you look at the document that we have been able to compile in each and every election in this country, if you look at the documentation that we have when Kenyans are demonstrating, are on the street demonstrating for a particular cause, you will be shocked that indeed we are not in a democratic society, and something must be done for us to go there.
Wow. So if you are a resident of Kisumu and have been wondering what is going on, why can't we feel safe past 7, 8 p.m.? Why are our people being killed? Why is it helter skelter? You probably don't understand. You're in the shock. You are reacting to it. Well, I hope this conversation has helped you understand what really goes on the deeper level, not just on the high level. And I think that if we begin to understand what really goes on and understand who really has vested interests in these scenarios or in these situations, then we might begin having the right conversations. At least we can see some hope and say, fine, at least we know what goes on into this, who is involved, and how exactly it is done, and what layers exist. So if we are going to find a solution, we know that we're going to have to deal with corruption, we're going to have to deal with inequality, we're going to have to deal with taking care of problems, because these children that we're talking about are our children, are our problem. We need to come up with solutions. Our city is growing into a big hub, a regional hub now. So, as much as we want to maintain our status quo, we need to grow with the city, and the city has needs. If we're going to have to start dealing with our leadership, if we're going to start arresting these suspects who are always known, I mean, where are we going to begin? So you can help us think, any ideas that you have, please put them on that comment section. We just want to say thank you very much and to appreciate Mr. Audi Ogada for taking his time coming to discuss this grave issue that, we are all concerned about.
Allow me to say this as a passion. The big question that I'm asking our security agencies, our security organs, why have we witnessed police using a lot of firearm, a lot of force in dealing with the demonstrators, and yet they have failed to use that kind of force, to use those firearms to deal with the criminals? Why? Why should we kill demonstrators and then we allow or we give licenses to criminals to terrorize, to declare curfew in most areas within our setup? Why are police allowing criminals to declare curfew in major areas within our city, yet the demonstrators who are actually have been given the right by the Constitution are being killed. The number of people who have been killed as they demonstrate in this area is shocking. Yet criminals have been given licenses
and even gun,
to declare curfews.
And even guns to commit this crime. Because the police collude with them to give them.
It is true.
Yeah.
No, my brother.
Just last week we had someone here.
You know, 2-3 months ago, a police officer, there were 4 police officers, one from K9, that is police dog unit, one from Central, another one from Ondele. These police officers, the 4 of them, were hiring tuk-tuk. They were hiring tuk-tuk and they were giving uniform. They were giving uniform to this gentleman. And they were going to raid all the way in Kisumu West. They went up to Oholu. They went up to Obambo, doing raids from here, illegal raids.
Oh my God.
Illegal raid, police officers. I wrote a letter, it is there. You know what they did? They only transferred OCPD. They transferred the 2 OCS of Dago and there. And that is it. But the officers who were hiring, who were giving non-police officers uniform to go and raid and terrorize people. IPOA is investigating. IPOA has investigated thousands of cases with no result. IPOA. Ogada IPOA is investigating. Ogada IPOA is until when will IPOA carry the investigation? Yet them, if Audi is demonstrating, napigwa rungu, napigwa tear gas, napigwa risasi, but me as a police, them as police officers, IPOA is investigating. IPOA is doing what?
Investigating.
And they have been found culpable. You know, Section 49, you know why people, even police, even everyone is worried about me. When I talk about issues such as this, I have reviewed all the laws. I read a lot in terms of police manual. That is a document that talk about police, a lot of it. I read about National Police Service Act 2011 as amended in 2016, a lot of it. I read police standing orders, and I read criminal act. And more importantly, I also read what we call police charter, police service charter. Now, if you are reading these 5 documents, then you will understand what police are supposed to do and what we expect from them and what we are also expecting from them. So I don't go out of it. So when I raise an issue against a police officer, I raise it because I have checked on the documentation, I have checked over all laws, I have read the Constitution, and I found this police as mismanaging, okay, is completely outside the law. Yet, the Constitution says that under Article 232 of the Constitution, Article 232 of the Constitution talks about our national values and principle of public service. And police officers are public service. They are public servant. They are supposed to serve the people. That the principle of under Article 232 are very clear.
Yes.
That police must discharge their duty in total compliance to the rule of law.
Yeah.
And their powers under Article 239. Article 239 tells the police that their power is subordinate to the civilian authority.
Yeah.
The National Police Service power in general, wakiwa na hizo bunduki na hizo nini, those powers are subordinate to civilian authority. So we are the custodian of authority.
Yes.
Hawa vijana walikuwa na uawa, they are the custodian of authority.
Yeah.
So that is why I found police guilty.
Yeah.
That is why I condemn them.
Yeah.
Because they have been given wider power, but those wider power, they have been instructed to discharge them in total compliance to the rule of law. I end up my speech.
Is this an issue that you are concerned about?
I'm concerned about that.
Is this an issue that you want to, give your comment about? You can leave your comments at the comment section if you have any ideas of how we can, we would like to consider them and incorporate them into our strategy, and we can even maybe forward them to our leaders. Have you, as much as me, learned about the Police Service Act? I've not read it myself.
No, you read it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to read it.
No, that's
and learned quite a lot from you. So thank you very much, Mr. Audi Ogada, again for honoring our invite and talking about this issue that all of us are very concerned about. I know how much you love our town, and we share that with you. And all we are doing is we want the best for this city.
Exactly.
And we can't continue living primitively because it's time to grow. So thank you very much, sir.
Asanteni sana.
Hata sisi tumeshukuru sana kwa muda wako.
Asanteni sana.
Yeah.
At least I wish you well.
Yeah.
I'm also happy that allow me to also appreciate the honor and the privilege to talk to me on this issue that is of critical to all of us.
Yeah.
I want to sincerely thank you for that.
Yeah.
I want to sincerely thank you for that. It's something that I have a strong conviction that we must fight it on.
Yeah.
Even tomorrow, the other day I was at the Ramogi TV, the other day I was at Ramogi Kala, and I'm being invited by several media houses to talk on this, and I have a passion. I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The issue of insecurity must be addressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. So
I'm going to take this chance to give Mr. Audi Ogada his flowers. We have a bad culture of giving people their flowers when they die. No. We are going to give him his flowers and celebrating when he's still alive, he's still here with us. And we are going to tell him that we, as the youth of Kisumu, we really look up to you and we really appreciate you for the job you're doing on our behalf. And, even just talking about it, you are enabling us, you're giving us the information. And if we're enabled and we are informed society, I believe this lawlessness will be a thing of the past. So thank you very much.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Yeah.